Sacramento. They want to turn it around after the loss to the Lakers.
Pretty lazy effort defensively that night from them, guys. You know, I know that it sounds harsh, but hey, I speak the truth.
Yes, you do. Where were the adjustments is my question. I mean, the coaching staff didn't seem to realize, as everyone else watching did, that changes had to be made defensively. They never moved on anything.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. We've got Chandler Parsons. Sheik is out there with Yunus. Then it's Jeremy Lin. And it's Harden in at the shooting guard position. And for Sacramento, inside Jason Thompson and DeMarcus Cousins. Thomas and Evans are manning the backcourt. And it's Salmons in at the 3. Kings on D. It's the second meeting of the year against this Rockets team.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Yeah, the fans not happy at all with that whistle.
And the fans, as you would expect, not allowing their feelings to be kept on mute, they didn't care for that one.
Well, if you're a basketball fan, you remember Keith Smart hitting the game-winning jump shot for Indiana back in the 1987 Final Four. And went on to have a long career as an assistant coach in the league and now doing a nice job as the main man in Sacramento.
The screen from Thompson. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession. Now it's sent it over to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Kevin McHale.
Yes, he's looking at how they can establish an edge in this one. He's looking for them to lock things down on the interior first and foremost. He said our shot blocking is something that could really help us if we just play smart and avoid fouls. We want them shooting over length, and that's one thing my guys do bring to the table. Sound strategy, Kevin.
Great, Doris. Thank you. It's not too uncommon to have that defensive focus being foremost in the game plans.
Well, that's who they are, Kevin. That's their identity as a ball club. And so every game they start out thinking, let's shut the opponent down.
And not with just any kind of defense, guys. I mean, they want to get up into you, nose-to-nose, aggressive, in-your-face defense.
And Coach Smart likes to keep in touch with his players off the court using text messaging. Check in with them often.
Well, that's the way you got to do it these days. I mean, you know, you got to take advantage of modern technology and be able to relate to your players, whether it's online social networking or whatever it is. I mean, you've got to be able to connect with your players as a coach on some level, and that's a good way for Coach Smart to do it.
Thomas passes to Evans. From 13, and Tyreek Evans is going to pick up a foul. That's his first foul.
Obviously, he's not afraid of physical play, but still needs to play in control.
And he definitely wasn't in control that time. Everybody in the building knew it was an over-the-back call.
Stolen by Thomas. Evans kicks to Thompson. And there's a whistle. That's going to go on James Harden. That is his first foul of the game. Carlos Delfino's checked in for Chandler Parsons. Pass to Salmons. And there's a whistle. That goes on Jeremy Lin. That's his first foul. The Rockets making a switch here. Robinson's checked in. And there's DeMarcus Cousins on the assist by Evans. 6-point tier for Cousins.
Gotta love the low post offense. That was beautiful. Very sad to see where the Sacramento franchise has gone kind of the last 4 or 5 seasons, guys. Remember the heyday back in the early 2000s when they had Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, Stojakovic. And they filled up the building every night back then. We'll see if they can ultimately get it rolling again here in Sacramento.
No good from Delfino. The Kings trailed by 4. Down low. And it's Evans missing. The Rockets have gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%.
Yeah, their offense struggled for almost that entire game. You know, whenever they did start to put together something during a decent stretch, it just seemed to end just as quickly as it began.
Yeah, but even so, there weren't many of those decent stretches. I mean, talk about being in a rut.
Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. Cole Aldridge is checked in for Cousins. Patterson comes in for Jason Thompson. Travis Outlaw's checked in for John Salmons. And it's Thornton in for Tyreek Evans. Steve, that old team you were talking about, those old Kings teams, that was incredible how they played. In fact, I remember the commissioner, Clark David Stern, said, we would love if the entire league played with that kind of flair and flamboyance and passion that that Kings team of that era played with. They were so fun to watch.
They really were, Kev. One of my favorite teams, the way they played, they came close to knocking off the Lakers in the Western Finals, and they really were one of my favorite teams to watch. It shows, Kevin, that you can have and sustain a winning team in a small market like Sacramento.
You know, Houston for the last several years has tried to get a star player on their roster, but it's so difficult to do. There's only about 10 of them in the entire league. But what they've done is they've put a lot of good players on the floor. They've built their asset base, and they're poised to make a deal when the right one comes their way.
Delfino, good.
That's grace over power, guys. With that finger roll, gets him 2 points. Impressive stuff.
Here's Thomas. And out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. Let's quickly bring up the 2K leaderboard for a look at the top free throw shooters among point guards. And you look at Thomas, 4th in the league, and as consistent as they come at the free throw line.
They are as reliable at the free throw line as you're going to find in this league. And that's something we've come to expect from the point guard position.
Yeah, that is typically where we find a lot of the top foul shooters in the league, quite honestly. But that doesn't mean we should take these guys for granted now. I mean, they put in an enormous amount of work to get to that level.
Really, if you don't have a top 10 player in the league, you just continue to gather talent, and that's what the Rockets have really done.
Yeah, and you call that stockpiling assets. If you aren't building around someone, then you get as many good assets as you can because they're always movable, and I think Houston has done a nice job with that. They're in a position to add pieces or either trade for additional pieces now.
It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. They get a hand on it. Out of bounds, Kings ball as Sacramento keeps possession.
A chance here to see how the Kings rank in the NBA right now. 6th in field goal percentage, 7th in steals, and they're a top 10 team in three-point shooting.
I like what they've done defensively. You talked about that opponent field goal percentage number. That's impressive because you know they're getting after it every game. They've got a good plan. They're covering up for one another defensively. They're rotating. They're closing out on shooters, and they're trying to make offense as difficult as possible.
They've done a terrific job rebounding here so far, allowing no second chance points.
John Salmons, he's checked in for Travis Outlaw. And a switch here also for Houston. Monty Eunice is checked in for Robinson. That's good. Aldridge has got 6 points. Rockets leading by 5. Garcia, he's guarded by Thornton. There's the pass to Monty Eunice. And he throws it down with one hand.
Pretty significant laps there on the defensive end, guys.
Yeah, those are the ones you just can't allow that.
No, if you're giving up dunks and layups defensively, you're in huge trouble.
Got a piece of it to the inside. Thornton dishes to Aldridge. Back to Thornton. Can't get it to go. So Houston will take it the other way. Here's Delfino. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Went for the two-hand throw down there. Needed safety and power.
That's how you do it.
No, nothing fancy, but he finished with force.
DeMarcus Cousins, he's checked in for the Kings. The Rockets also changing it up. Ashik has checked in for Smith. Chandler Parsons comes in for Carlos Delfino. And it's Harden in for Francisco Garcia. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. The Kings have shot just 1 free throw, missing that one early.
When you look at the numbers for this season, guys, from the free throw line, they're shooting 77%.
And comparing to the numbers of last season, they've made a bit of improvement. So that's some positive momentum they can look to build on.
Brooks, the pass to Harden. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. And here's Fredette from beyond the arc. gets it to go.
Well, I like that. They ran to the three-point line and got an uncontested look there in transition.
Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Rockets lead by 5. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Let's quickly break down the game we've seen so far from the Rockets, guys.
And I like what they've done offensively, really attacking the rim, getting a lot of points in the paint.
And, guys, they've been the aggressor early. I mean, attacking the hoop and getting into the paint, that can make the game really easy for you.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the floor for Sacramento, Patrick Patterson is out there with Salmons. Then there's Tyreek Evans. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Fredette in at point guard.
Well, when you look at DeMarcus Cousins, it's just amazing, his skill and his size. 6'11", 270, but he can pass, he can shoot, he's got great hands, he's got tremendous potential. It's just a matter of him working hard to be consistent on a nightly basis.
Here's Patterson. Again, Sacramento. Rockets leading by 3. There's the feed to Robinson. On the wing, Harden. Kicks it to Parsons. Lets the free fly. Gets it to go. Parsons got 5 And big men with size and talent of DeMarcus Cousins don't come along all that often. He's a strong player, great rebounder. Clark, the ability to score inside and out.
And, you know, he's continuing to make strides. He's cut down on his turnovers. Shot selection is getting better. His footwork is excellent. This is a guy who could really be a force for a long time if he stays on this path.
And the Kings making a change here. Hayes is checked in. And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Travis Outlaw is checked in for John Salmons. They grab their own miss. Robinson. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Well, what you love about Robinson is you can see the NBA body even back in his days at Kansas. Great strength and athleticism at that 4 spot.
Yeah, I like how revved up he plays, though. His motor is fantastic. He'll stay with it inside until he gets fouled or takes the ball to the bucket. He's relentless in how he goes about things.
The Kings have shot 1 of 3 from the line tonight, missing 2 earlier on.
They've made progress in that department from last season going into this one, guys. I mean, the numbers have improved.
Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for Houston. Here is Outlaw. Evans off the pick from Cousins. Evans goes in. And so it looks like the Kings will retain possession here.
Still Kings ball.
And a look here at the most accurate shooting guards in the NBA this season. Tyreek Evans is second.
Well, in tight or outside, these are all very reliable, very consistent shooters. You know, it's a safe option to put the ball in their hands and let them create something for themselves.
I'd say it's beyond a safe option. It's a great option. The ISO play was made for these guys. All they need is just a little room to operate, and you can count it up. Buckets.
Buckets. I like that.
This is the Fredette. In low to Cousins. Kings moving the ball around. Outlaw kicks to Cousins. Out of bounds. Houston takes possession.
And now a look at how Jeremy Lin sits in the rankings. 7th in steals and one of the better passers in the league, in the top 20 in assists per game.
And, Steve, I think we should take a look back at his top 10 steals ranking that you mentioned a bit ago. I mean, that's impressive. This guy gets it done. Jumps the passing lanes when appropriate, but he also can pick the pocket of the ball handler, too.
The Kings trail by 5. And it's Evans missing. Rockets have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%.
How about the irony for the Kings last year? They draft Jimmer Fredette high in the first round, and then they get Isaiah Thomas with the last pick in the draft, and it turns out that Thomas is the one who ends up taking over the starting point guard role.
Stolen by Jeremy Lin.
Oh, man, that was unreal.
Mark it up. Did you see that?
Oh, we got to see that one again, guys. We've got to see that again.
I need a replay. I'm not sure what I just looked at.
Evans kicks to Hayes. Cousins with a screen for Hayes. Here's Outlaw. It's rebounded by Houston. Robinson's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Looking ahead, they've got the Jazz coming into town for the next game. And that game will kick off a 4-game homestand.
Yeah, and you know the fans out in Utah are hoping for a win. That's a big game.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Cousins. Thornton comes in for Tyreke Evans. And Tony Douglas is subbed in for Jimmer Fredette. The Rockets also changing it up. Smith checked in for a Sheik. And it's Montiunas in for Robinson. He feeds it to Douglas. Lets it go from deep. The rebound by Harden.
A clear look at the hoop. He doesn't miss many of those.
And the Kings making a change here. Salmons is checked in. Carlos Delfino's checked in for Houston. Garcia comes in for James Harden. Here's Douglas. Rockets with the rebound.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Right side, Lynn. He dishes it to Delfino. Passes it to Garcia. Just 5 to shoot. No luck. And it's the Kings taking it the other way. And that's a foul called on Chuck Hayes. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Jason Thompson is checked in for Chuck Hayes.
Boy, the big fella's showing us a little explosiveness for a change.
Well, maybe Clark is working on his dunk skills because he looked perfectly at home right there.
Now, sometimes he can clang those, so glad to see him get that one down.
Out of bounds.
And that's out of bounds. Sacramento will retain possession.
12 seconds on the shot.
We get a break in the action, so let's take a look at the West and how the teams are stacking up. We take a look at the Kings and checking out Houston. They're tied right now. Douglas kicks to Thompson to stop the run, and the basket good.
Thompson.
Rockets leading by 11. Outside, Lynn. Back to Smith. Yes! And a nice assist from Lynn. Lynn's got 4 assists in the game.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's something way too easy for him. At some point, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
Well, one of the reasons I like Jason Thompson is he's not afraid to be physical inside. He loves to chase down loose balls, get offensive rebounds, constantly fighting his opponent for position.
Yeah, very much a workmanlike approach to playing in the post from Thompson. He just puts in his time each game and comes away with some nice numbers. And the jam by Montiunas.
That was a hole punch jam there, Kevin.
A nice finish.
Yeah, you got to love the way he just capped off that strong move.
It's blocked, and they'll keep possession. Kicks it to Delfino. Feeds to Smith. And stolen by Patterson. And the Kings pushing it up now. Thompson with the ball. Thornton guarded by Garcia. And Thornton kicks to Patterson. Out the dish to Douglas. Out to Thompson. There's a whistle, and it's going to go in Carlos Delfino. That's his first foul. Some changes for Sacramento. Cousins comes in for Patrick Patterson. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Tony Douglas. The Rockets also changing it up. Robinson comes in for Montiunas. And it's Brooks in for Jeremy Lin. Tipped away. And here comes Thomas leading the fast break. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Marcus Morris.
Way to play in attack mode and get inside.
You know, if you're on defense and you're going to foul, make sure it's a good one. They did, preventing the and one.
And so he makes both from the line.
He's taking care of business at the line, and you expect nothing less from him. Of course, a terrific shooter from the stripe.
Your
Clock
team.
runs out, and we're heading to halftime.
The Rockets.
Rockets ahead. They lead by 13. Both Stick around here at halftime for the halftime show at Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
Yeah, the points have really come in bunches for him so far, and not really a surprise because you know exactly what he can do.
Well, he's been in the groove all game long, Steve, and not too many hiccups in regards to his shooting, but we also have come to expect this from him, so we're not surprised by it.
And so in the game for the Rockets, a Sheik is out there with Thomas Robinson. Then it's Brooks, then it's Harden, and then it's Parsons in at the small forward position.
Kevin McHale, just one of the funniest people you've ever met. I mean, he has so many stories. That's why he was a good broadcaster. But I think that serves you well as a coach, too. You really need to keep the players entertained. It's such a long, grinding year. I'm sure he cracked a few jokes in that locker room.
Outlaw kicks to Thompson. Here's Cousins. And the layup is good. Cousins has got 11 points.
Got to be very careful with this team. They can be really...
Hammer time! Wow. Hammer time! Don't do that to him. That was fantastic. Wow.
And Clark, the degree of difficulty.
Major.
That was amazing. And what you love about James Harden is his passing ability. You know that he can score, he can shoot with range, he can put the ball on the floor, get to the rim. He's probably the best passer on the team as well, and he also has a great beard.
It's tipped. And here's Horton outside. Shot is off. Good D by Harden.
Defensively, they did a great job of staying tight on him.
And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That's his first foul. Jimmer Fredetti's checked in for the Kings. And James Harden, you said it, Steve, not just a scorer. He really, Clark sees the game.
Yeah, I love that about him. He sees and feels the game. Those are guys that just have a knack for being in the right position, right place, and understanding pace and rhythm of the game. His rush hour handles, boy, I tell you, allow him to do things that very few players can do in the paint.
The Kings have shot 67% from the line tonight, going 4-6.
And guys, that's really an upgrade over how they shot last season. Not a huge upgrade, but an upgrade nonetheless.
Tyreek Evans is checked in for the Kings. And a change for the Rockets. Monty Eunice is checked in.
Yeah, the referee's all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
So he makes 1 of 2 as the second one misses.
Can't connect there, but still a red-hot start to the half, hitting 4 of their first 5 field goal attempts.
Fredette kicks to Outlaw. Over Brooks. Outlaw with the bucket. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter.
Great finish there, Kevin. Took it strong to the cup.
Yeah, an aggressive two-handed jam.
And that's the kind you like, especially in traffic. You got to make sure.
Here's Cousins. It's rebounded by Houston.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open. Oh, that was awesome.
Look out below. And the Rockets lead by 20.
You know, that's a play very few players have the guts to even try.
Yeah, it's hard enough, Clark, to complete an alley-oop pass to 20 teammates, let alone yourself. Wow.
He does have a little bit of showman in him, that's for sure.
This is his second trip to the free throw line.
Well, pretty average numbers for him from the foul line, shooting about 75%.
And I think it's clear he's gotten better in that department since last season. I mean, he looks a lot more comfortable at the line now, and he's getting better results.
Offensive rebound. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
He wants to tinker a little bit, and he's taking the time to do so right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just didn't like some of the things he saw out there, a bit uncomfortable, and wanted to talk it over.
And the Kings making a change here. Patterson's checked in. And let's run down for you the top 3-point shooting point guards in the league this season. You look at Fredette, one of the best shooters in the NBA, top 5 in the league at this moment.
Well, if there are no other options available, any of these guys can just step back and shoot the three. A great backup plan for any point guard to have.
Yeah, I'd love to see a three-point shooting contest just amongst the point guards so we could watch these guys do work. I mean, I don't know which one of them I'd choose, but they're all pretty good.
Defensive foul.
To the paint. There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Just over 3.5 minutes through the 3rd quarter of play now.
Kings ball.
Out of bounds, Sacramento will take possession.
Statistically speaking, let's see where the Rockets sit right now. 2nd in scoring, 2nd in opponent field goal percentage. And they also show up in the top 5 in assists. They've got scores, and they're a pretty good passing team as well.
And I think what's most impressive when you talk about those points per game is the fact that they're spreading it around. This is a very unselfish team. They work to get good shots every time down the floor, and they become a very efficient offensive team.
Now here's Hayes. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Shot denied.
Well, they've built a big lead here so far, and a lot of it has to do with how well they've been rebounding.
Yeah, every time they make a stop, they're securing the rebound, and that's really allowed them to get out to this lead. You know, James Harden has started to draw comparisons to Manu Ginobili for his ability to really do it all offensively. Shoot, drive, create, and of course, being left-handed, that helps too.
Snatched up. Here's Hayes. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that.
And that's why you love this guy. Tremendous work on the offensive boards. He just gets you second chance points.
You know, they'll want to generate more of those shots in tight, guys. And, you know, guys, you look at that James Harden-Ginobili comparison, and they both can really run the pick and roll effectively. They're slashers, they're smart, they can shoot the three, they've got your mid-range pull-up. I think Harden still has a ways to go defensively to be on Manu's level, but he's making strides there as well.
The Kings shooting at 36%. They really seem out of sync offensively. Hayes dishes to Patterson. And Hayes kicks to Evans. Shoots the three. Rockets with the rebound. Ashik's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. And the Rockets getting another bucket right there.
Well, I like that he's come up with some big baskets for this team to help him out in getting this lead.
Fredette, the pass to Salmons. He passes it to Evans. Back to Salmons. Cuts off the pass. Throws it up high. Out of bounds, Sacramento takes possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
And the Kings will go for a different look here. DeMarcus Cousins, he's checked in for Patterson. Thornton comes in for John Salmons. Tony Douglas is checked in for Tyreek Evans. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Jimmy Fredette.
Seems like he's gotten every single rebound today.
Glass eating at its finest. I mean, you're not going to see a guy with 20-plus boards too often. That's an impressive number.
Man, offensive execution has been the story here. Just playing beautiful basketball.
And, guys, you can see it in their advantage in field goal percentage. I mean, you get high-quality shots, you're usually going to shoot well. They're playing outstanding basketball.
And he says right back at you with a big dunk of his own. Houston in total control. On the wing, Harden. For three.
James Harden.
That drops, and it comes off an assist from Brooks. Brooks has got his 8th assist in the game. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
The rebound by Harden.
Another board for them, and they've got a huge advantage in that regard.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, rebounding one of the true barometers in winning basketball games, and if you rebound better, you typically are going to win ball games and do it comfortably.
The Kings shooting a pretty wretched 28% in the 3rd quarter. This offense needs to maybe try some different angles. Oh, offensive interference. Now here is Smith. Right now averaging 5 points a game. Inside. Here's Robinson. Dunks it down.
I like that one-handed spike right there.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yes, sirree.
Yeah, he's not going to miss many of those.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Rockets ahead, running away with it. And after a quick break, we're going to come right back with the start of the fourth quarter. We've got DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas out there with Jimmer Fredette. Then it's Thornton, and it's Patterson in at the 4 slot. That's the 5 out there for the Kings. And so here's Sacramento. Cousins with a screen on Brooks. Thomas kicks to Fredette. Screen by Cousins. Fredette gets the bucket.
And defensively, remember, you got to fight through screens to avoid giving up open looks.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Steve. And the defense has to go over the top of that screen. I think that's how they get it done.
There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. That will be foul number 5 on him. Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Aldridge comes in for DeMarcus Cousins. And Tyreek Evans subbed in for Jimmer Fredette.
Well, luckily, they've got some really solid backup. You hate to see a player DQ, disqualified due to fouls, but they can do a decent job of replacing his production.
DeMarcus Cousins, he's checked in for Patrick Patterson. Rocket shooting has been just uncontainable.
Look out!
The rim is shaking.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. He really is, guys. I mean, that's phenomenal leaping ability there.
Up and away right there, baby.
That's what sets him apart, guys. His talent for making plays like that, just incredible.
And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That'll be his second foul of the game.
You know, in this day and age, teams do turn over a little bit more. Not like the old days where you keep the same roster for close to a decade. And despite that turnover, you do see that some teams with good management still find a way to stay on top.
Thomas with the ball. Guarded now by Aaron Brooks. Here is Thornton. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Rockets have done a perfect 4 of 4 to start the final quarter. Can't ask for anything more than that. Stolen by Evans. And now in transition is Thornton. Here we go. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Yeah, he got whacked. Shouldn't be much debate on that one.
2 shots.
Yeah, that was as straightforward as it gets, guys.
You talk about winning in this league, guys. It sure seems, Steve, to come down to the organization.
Well, there's a culture, and there's kind of an aura around a team that is so important. You're not always going to have talent, but if you can have a team that is always dedicated towards working and getting better, then I think over the course of time, you're going to have a lot of success. Think of San Antonio, think of Oklahoma City. Obviously, they've had plenty of talent, but the character of the players and the work ethic of the coaching staffs and the organizations really tells you all you need to know.
A nice shot by Lynn.
Love the finish there. Not much defense, though.
Thornton dishes to Evans. And that one's good.
They haven't been getting lit up from outside here. All the points they're giving up are from in close. They've got to offer more resistance.
Yeah, defense has to get better, Clark. They've got to body up, bump somebody, get physical, force the action back out to the perimeter.
And the call will go against Thomas Robinson. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
Well, one nice part of living in the information age, guys, is that you get a chance to easier test assumptions. We've always thought that veteran experience was a huge key in the playoffs, and I still think that's a factor. But a recent study said that young teams aren't at as big a disadvantage. It's more about team continuity and chemistry. That's where the big advantage is.
In the pass to Robinson. Here's Parsons. Good on the shot. Parsons got 10 points here in the second half.
Well, you're not going to get a more high-quality look than that. Terrific offensive rebound there.
And so it looks like the Kings will retain possession here. You know, Clark, you were just talking about that study. Surprising that having playoff experience wasn't a big edge for teams. Your Indiana Pacers, the Philadelphia 76ers from last year in the playoffs. You know, interesting examples. Steve, what's your thought on that?
Well, I think what's important is for the coaching staffs to have experience. I think that's where playoff experience really comes in handy. The players gain a lot of experience right away their rookie years. They play so many games before the playoffs even come. So I think they adapt quickly to the postseason. For the coaches, it's a different game. They have to adapt. That's why I think their own experience is very important.
Here's Evans. Sacramento again missing.
Just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. You've got to find something out there.
Boy, they are really getting chewed up inside here. I mean, that's 8 of the last 10 points they've given up inside, in the paint.
Yeah, and the paint should be sacred ground for a defense. I mean, you can't let anybody just trot in there and get an easy bucket.
Stolen by Jeremy Lin. Here's Harden. And there's the lay-in. Harden's got 4 points in the quarter.
Carving them up inside there, Kevin. I mean, the defense has been vulnerable in there.
Yeah, that's 3 straight field goals in the paint area. That's really good offense.
And some changes here for the Kings. Chuck Hayes, he's checked in for Cousins. Thompson comes in for Cole Aldridge. And Travis Outlaw subbed in for Marcus Thornton. And a change for the Rockets. It's checked in for a Sheik.
Not stop. There's no way to stop that. I mean, there's nothing you can do when he's coming at him like that.
Well, that's right, Clark. Steve, he is a dangerous, dangerous player.
Yeah, especially when he gets to that launching pad right there in the lane. I mean, pretty one-handed finish. That was nice.
1:58 left in the game. Now here's Lin. He's guarded closely. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Rockets will retain possession. Here's Moniunas, and he bangs it home with one hand.
Yeah, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yep, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome now.
Outlaw.
You know, it always takes 3 or 4 years to really evaluate a draft class. But if you look back at that 2005 draft class now, that was just an amazing draft. Incredible depth. Great NBA players. Not only in the first round, but coming out of the second round as well.
Robinson's checked in for Moniunas.
Well, he cut into the deficit a little bit, but not as much as he could have. One miss can make a difference.
Here's Robinson. Lin kicks to Smith. Goes up again. The basket good off the assist from Lin. Lin's got 6 assists here tonight.
You know, it is really hard to miss shots that close to the basket.
And just some of the names from the draft you mentioned. Bogut, Bynum, Chris Paul, Darren Williams, Steve, all at the top, but the depth was incredible.
Yeah, look at later on in that draft, Kevin. David Lee picked by the Knicks at the end of the first round. And had guys in the second round like Monte Ellis, Archie Gortat, Brandon Bass, Lou Williams. Ultimately, that 2005 class turned out to be really, really strong.
Fredette dishes to Hayes. Here's Outlaw. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Jeremy Lin. That's good.
Jeremy Lin.
And that should definitely do it. Now it's starting to get out of hand.
Yeah, they're not just running to the finish line. They're running through the finish line right here. They're piling on a bit.
Off the screen. Here's Thompson. And yes, sir, that one drops. And it's Houston's ball. They're on a 16-7 run. Here's Lin. Off on the layup. The Kings have got a pretty good rhythm going offensively, shooting 8 of 15 for the quarter. And that's Evans penetrating. Hayes. The second effort. Here's Outlaw. And at last they get one to fall. And here comes Lin. They set the screen. Smith the pass to Lynn. Here's Robinson. Hammers it home.
Robinson.
And that's a double-double for him now. 11 points and 12 rebounds.
Well, the outcome is not in question now. They've got it all wrapped up.
Agreed.
Your Kings, 62. The Rockets, 102.